On today's episode, Joy and Nadia are diving deep into the powerful topic of childhood trauma. Join them as they share stories of resilience, offer insights on healing, and provide a safe space for understanding and growth. We're excited to have you on the couch with us, so grab your tea or coffee, your journal, and settle in. And let's dive into today's episode on the couch with Joy and friends.
Beat his ass.
Hey, Stink. What's up, y'all? What's good? Thugging with my rounds. Found down. Come on. Y'all, I know.
Thugging with my rounds.
We ain't gonna say all the words, but listen. I don't care what y'all say. I like that song. It make the wretched parts of me happy. You know what I'm saying?
It made the
wretched parts of me real happy when I hear that song. And I still don't know all the lyrics. Don't ask me. But today, before we start the episode, y'all already know, welcome back. Subscribe. That's what I'm telling you to do. Subscribe. And there's a money symbol down there. Go ahead and press that money symbol and see what it does for you.
Stupid, man.
See what it does. It helps you continue to get this love every Tuesday and Thursday, right here on the couch. Today, we're going to need these. If you do not have a journal, go to Amazon right now and get you one. And if you don't have a journal for this episode, what you're going to need, go ahead and just grab a piece of paper, grab your own personal journal, do what you need to do, because we're going to be doing some journal prompts today surrounding the topic of childhood trauma. We are healing childhood trauma, y'all. We're talking about it. We're digging deep into it. And if you don't know, you know what childhood trauma is? Mm-hmm. Okay. We're healing it today. We're talking about it in a numerous way. It doesn't matter. We're talking about it today. Praise God. Childhood trauma, if you do not know what it is, it refers to a deeply distressing or disturbing experience that occurs during your childhood. It can result from various events or situations that overwhelm a child's ability to cope and negatively impact their emotional, psychological, and physical well-being. Traumatic experiences during childhood can have long-lasting effects and influence on a person's development. It has an influence on their relationships and how they function overall, okay? So childhood trauma can take different types of forms and may result from various sources, y'all. Some include physical abuse, emotional abuse, all the things, punching, hitting, burning, all the things that, I don't know if y'all got beat with extension cords, but I did. Come on, let's talk about it. Physical abuse, molestation, rape, all the things. Emotional abuse, somebody's always humiliating you, belittling you, rejection, all the things. Neglect. Y'all ate every day? Did y'all eat every day? Okay. Some people didn't eat every day. Some people didn't have the basic needs like food, clothing, water, shelter. All of that stuff matters when we're talking about childhood trauma. So today we're going to talk about it and how it shows up and what we're doing to heal it. So the journals are here so we can write a few journal prompts to get you started, to start digging deeper into this childhood trauma and healing it. So Nadia.
Yes, Kathy.
Go ahead and dig in. Tell us about you. Did you experience any childhood trauma?
Yeah, I think we all did. In some way, shape, form, or fashion. Yes, something traumatic happened as a child that still affects you now as an adult. One, I would say is...
Or even if you've gotten over it.
Or even if you've gotten over it. Because you do know that when it happens as a child, something in your mind blocks it out to where you don't even remember that it happened.
Yeah. Because it's so normal.
Because it's so traumatic. But yeah, my friends, when I would go to their house, it was sisters, so I would go to their house and they couldn't eat wherever else in the house. Like I eat in my room or in the living room, or hey, I could eat outside if I wanted to. But at their house, they had to eat on the floor on newspaper, and if they waste food on the floor on the counter, they would get a whooping for it, like real whoopings. And I didn't understand that. Like, what? You can't eat in your room? Like, I'm in my bed eating and watching TV and talking on the phone
You lived a good little
at the
childhood.
same time.
Girl, no.
Like, it's crazy. It's now I used to let JC eat in her room. Now I don't. Because now she started to think automatically, when the food is fixed, get my bowl, go upstairs. No, you sit down here, you eat in the kitchen now, and when you finish, then you can go upstairs. But yeah, that was crazy and traumatic to me. Like, man, I ain't never gonna beat my kids like that.
Oh yeah, I definitely had a pretty and people watching this, my family and my friends, hey. So I'm about to say a few things that a lot of people may not know. Of course, my parents know, but I love my parents to this day, and we have overcome a whole lot of things before y'all start calling them. But growing up, whoopings were a staple in my home. A staple. I can't remember a time that I did something and didn't get a whooping for it. I don't care what it was. I don't even, half the time I don't know where I got some of those whoopings. Still to this day, I don't know what happened. But I do remember an incident where I was in kindergarten and they had to, call the people up to the school because I had a little bruise. And that's my first initial realization, like, oh, that's wrong.
So is the whooping wrong, or is the extent of the whooping wrong?
I honestly think now I don't whoop my child at all. I don't whoop him. Do he need one? Hands down, yes. But we live in a different age, and we're going to get to that. But I do not think whoopings work. I think they create other habits and fetishes, and I said it along the line, like later on down the line. Because like you said, traumatic earlier, and I said it was normal because trauma was normal to me. It was so normal that I honestly thought that getting a whipping like that was okay. Getting hit with like a 1-inch belt was okay. And I honestly don't think I was that bad of a child, to be real with you. Like, my parents were pastors, so I don't remember disrespecting them to get the extent of the whippings that I did receive. So I grew up it made me timid. It made me scary. It made me very in my, like, oh, I can't say that. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that. No, never mind. No, it made me very shy because I thought everything that I did was something wrong.
So do you think it was the whooping or the extent of the whooping?
I think it was the whooping for me because I didn't really know extent-wise either. Like, I didn't know that I was getting it bad or good.
Level 1 or level 5
I didn't know what I was getting. I just knew I was getting a whooping. And back in the day, and this is, I feel like everybody's childhood trauma that's my age, nothing was explained to us.
It was because I said so because I said so.
Why'd you hit me? What you say? I want to know why you hit me. I want to know what happened. Like, what did I do to deserve this so I will not do it again? You lied. I lied about what? How did I lie? And what did I? Because even with JC and her grandmama, you had to say, no, you can't say that. So the next time she say, I'm going to knock the black off of you, she might go, And I think explaining helps. I don't think whoopings help. Because they didn't help me in that sense. But I would have wanted more knowledge. I'll say that.
I think that it depends on the situation and it depends on the child. I think that some people have whooped their kids so much that it don't change nothing. I don't whoop because I don't have to. JC's never done anything bad enough that I felt like she needed a whooping for it. Have I popped her hand? Absolutely. But to just say, go get the belt, or hey, come here, let me spank your behind. Like, it's never been that. She's never done anything to me bad enough that warranted a whooping, a pop. Absolutely. She done got her hands popped a few times. But for me and for her, she's so JC's like me. When you tell her something once, you 9 times out of 10 ain't gonna have to tell her that same thing again. Now the one thing I'd have to tell her is calm down. Like when she get excited when her friends be, she just be I'm like, calm down. And I have to tell her that every time she have company. But that's just a kid being a kid. You're excited because your friends are around. But to say that she has done something bad enough to get a whooping, no. Because I talk a lot and I explain a lot. And she's bright enough to understand that if I had this conversation with you already, I don't have to have it with you again.
Yeah. And a big part of the whole whooping thing, like I can just remember being a kid in the back seat, a child at school, scared to go home because I know I'm gonna get a whooping.
You did something bad?
I wouldn't consider it bad.
What you did? Give me an example.
Like if I talked too much in class that day.
Okay.
Or I would get N's on my report card for needs improvement and talk because I was talkative. But hear me out. Look at me now. I'm talking all the time. And it wasn't because I felt like I was being rude or disrespectful. I just had something to say and nobody was telling me where to say that. Or hey, we're gonna do a section now where y'all talk. But nowadays in school, they got a whole meditation corner for kids to take a 5-minute breather if they need it. That was not the case for us growing up, where in class you can go, okay, this is overwhelming. And you can actually voice that this is overwhelming. I'm not understanding. How can I get some help? And I was telling Paulie, I was like, I gave up recess in high school, middle school and high school. I did not go to recess or whatever they called it, PE, whatever it was. My PE teachers knew Joy want to stay back with her math teacher, her science teacher, because I was very afraid to speak during class. But when all the students was out of class, me and the teachers would have the best dialogue ever. But I did that so I wouldn't get a whooping by talking in class. But it wasn't, as a kid, you don't register. You can talk. It's just how
and when
nobody was explaining to me. So I had to literally figure out a whole lot of things on my own when it came to being talkative in school. And I realized, okay, Joy, you kind of like got this leadership ability thing. And then I became a peer mediator, helped the principal, all the things. But I had to put that thing that was negative into a positive on my own as a kid. And I just do not want that for my child. And even just sitting there with that scary feeling while your mama driving home, feeding you, loving on you, and you know you about to get your butt whooped, that junk it's like, and it spilled over into some of my relationships. Like where I'm looking at him like, I know he mad. I know when I get home, this is going to be a whole argument. And I started dating people that would love on me, and then get home and be like, now, why you do that? What'd I do? Like, what did I do? And I go back into the 7, 8, 9-year-old little girl every single time. And I know it's a lot of people who do that to this day. And I just want this episode to help you get over the hump. And I literally had to tell myself, girl, you are an adult. You can't get in trouble with nobody, Joy. You can no longer get in trouble. So that's why when people be like, Joy, you did this, I be like, okay.
That's how I feel about adults that lie, blatantly lie.
Like you cannot get in trouble.
Why did you lie?
Because you think that what you did was that wrong, that you're gonna get, that there's a punishment or a consequence coming with this thing.
And so that's what my questions be like. As an adult, what made you lie?
Why are you that little girl that's on the inside?
That's what I'm saying. So that is it's sad because something made you that way, but it's even more sad that you feel it's necessary to be that same way as an adult. When you don't have to be.
You don't, but it takes some time to sit there and really be like, I literally had to, like, it was hard to do, it was hard to realize, and it was hard to accept that this man that I'm dating, that I say I love, is scary. Like, if his hands move a certain way, if he starts getting a little angry, then I go into that little girl again, like, I'm finna get a whooping. I'm finna get a whooping by an adult, but it's a mind shift and it's a pivot that we all need to make, where we are responsible now as adults to change the pattern, to rebuild a foundation of purity and love. And like, once again, I love my parents. We have gone through all the forgiveness and love that you can imagine. And one pivotal part of my forgiveness to my parents was asking them why they are the way they are. And when I heard my mom's story, and I won't tell it on this platform, mommy, but when I heard her story of how she grew up, everything she did to me, it didn't even matter. It didn't even matter. It couldn't even compare. It could not compare to what she went through. And people saw what we were dealing with on the outside because we were at church, and some incidents will happen at church. And people would see it. But once I heard her story, it just changed everything. And I think that's a big part of it. Ask your people who they are. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be open at first. We are open. I think our generation are open with our kids. Mommy, why you do that? We'll be like, because. Our parents know. Even my mama still, I be asking her to come on this couch and tell her story. She ain't.
Iffy on what I explain.
Girl, me, I just learned in therapy not to do it.
I don't explain everything. Because some things I feel like will steal your innocence.
Speak on it. Okay.
And some things I would rather you learn outside of me telling that to you. Like, I can tell you, don't touch that stove, it's hot. But I want you to go outside and ride your bike and keep riding it no matter how many times you fall off of it, get back on it and ride it again. And then come back and tell me when you learn how to ride your bike. Because I could have gone out there and taught you how to ride your bike, but I would prefer that you go out there and do it. But even with like things like I would, when JC was younger, you know, you always say, go to the bathroom, make sure you wipe your butt. In her head, she only wiped her butt.
Right, not what she need to.
So I recently had to say, when you go to the bathroom, you wipe where the pee comes from. That way, that stops your panties from being wet or whatever going on. Like, I didn't want, as a kid, to say, you know, whatever. Because to me,
it was still an innocence.
It still was an innocence thing. But a lot of things, when she asks, I'll tell her, but I don't just volunteer an explanation now when I don't think it's warranted. Now, she asks, yes.
And that's the only time I have conversations is when when I'm asked, and or when I sense that there needs to be some type of knowledge, or he does something that I'm like, okay, we're not repeating that.
Yeah.
So get over here and sit down.
Yeah,
you're not gonna get dairy ice cream. You're gonna get oat milk ice cream, because in our family, it's just what it is. And in therapy, I definitely have been told that I'm way too open.
You are.
And the only and once again, that's childhood trauma.
It is
showing up in my baby, not showing up in my baby, but with my child, because I went out into the world and learned all the things in 1 year. And imagine I'm passing out in year 3 because everything is so overstimulated. Like, and I just didn't want him to go out in the world wondering. I literally was like, I'm telling him everything. Y'all don't judge me. But because they had a drug epidemic at school, I'm like showing him drugs, what they look like. This is not candy.
To me, I don't think that is too much information.
Okay.
Because, and I talked to her, let me tell you, and see if you
don't eat this.
Kids, how your delivery is when it comes to your kids, they will listen. And I just told somebody this yesterday. What you say to your kids, they are listening, and they will regurgitate it at some point in their lives. I've always said this to JC, you do not take food from your friends at school. They brought something from home. You do not have it. If they give you, they got candy, gum, whatever at school, you cannot eat that. So every time somebody gives her something,
she bring it home?
Yes. She get in the car, and it's the first thing she do. Here, Mom, my friend gave me some gum. Can you check it for me? or here my friend gave me this, and I'm like, to me, it's a proud moment. Like you are listening when I say something, you listen, but it's a reason why I'm telling you this. But going back to you, I don't think in no way you showing him drugs is wrong, because now they look like candy.
And I mean, one whole school, the kids were all sedated because
The whole
one
school
person had
gave away
medicated.
edibles.
Like, not mine. Not mine.
That's what I
I
tell you.
better
You
not
want
ever get a
candy?
phone call like
You
that.
want candy? It will come from me taking you to the store getting it, or it comes from this house. You cannot eat candy from your friends.
Yep.
Under no
And
circumstances.
even when he went to soccer camp, that was one of the rules at soccer camp. You cannot, when you bring your snack is not for nobody else. It's just for you.
And
we
you
do
don't
not
eat their
swap.
snack. You don't eat their snack.
Nope.
You don't drink out their water bottle. You don't do none of that. You don't do none of that. Because I've seen where parents are Munchausen by proxy, have
What?
putting stuff in their kids' water bottle and sending them to school. So now my kid drinking rat poison with your kid drinking rat poison. No, it's not gonna happen. Here, Jay, here's your water bottle. It's snapped on your bottle,
And
on
don't
your
drink-
backpack.
and once it's done, it's
once
done.
it's done, it's done. Bring it
Done.
on back home, and no little poop can't drink out of it. No, it's a no.
Yep. So I just, the openness, the talking to them is just, I think, needed. And my childhood trauma definitely shows up a lot with my son. And I'm healing through him. Like, my relationship with him is healing a lot of my childhood trauma, stuff I didn't even know existed. Therapy definitely opened up a lot of doors too, when it came to me recognizing who I was for him. And I think a lot of parents should take note of that. Healing your childhood wounds will cause you to really start changing how you raise your children. And just period, living a normal, healthy, balanced life. If you can let go of some old traits that were taught to you. So let's take these journals out. And that's gonna be our first question. How and what let's do what first. What am I healing when it comes to childhood trauma within me? What am I healing? What is first? What are some things that I grabbed from my childhood that are not healthy, and I'm bringing them into the now? What am I changing? What are we healing today? That's what you're going to put on there. And what does it look like when it shows up? Because I know for me, when my son doesn't know something, I'm quick to explain. I'm quick to research. I want him to know all the things. And it was because that didn't happen to me. So how does it show up for you and your family or your relationships when that insecurity or that fear, that worry shows up in relationships? 9 times out of 10, because I know I was in very emotionally abusive relationships, because I think that I grew up in a very structured home. So I look for that structure within my relationships. And if it was freedom, then I was like, I don't know about that. If wasn't nobody telling me what to do, I felt like it wasn't right. And that is childhood trauma, y'all. You're an adult. You're supposed to be free. Somebody's supposed to ask you, what do you like? What do you want to do?
On the flip side, my mom gave me options. Let me choose.
You ain't had no
my
options.
Parents, my dad, I had the freedom to ask for what I wanted. It wasn't, this is what, now there was structure for sure, but it wasn't like militant. It was the structure was there. Even today it's still there. Like I'm just some things I just will never say to him.
Yeah.
But it definitely, I say all of what you're taught and what you learn in childhood pours over into who you are as an adult. Every single thing. From the things that you ate, from the things your parents told you know about, or the things that was allowed, or the lack thereof. Like some people always say, I'm gonna give my kids everything that I didn't have. I don't think that way.
And that was me. I'm giving him everything I didn't have, and I mean everything.
Yeah, I don't think that's not my thought process. Like, I feel like if I lack something, it was probably material.
Okay.
It was never love. It was never structure. It was never the safe space to say how I felt or talk about stuff. It was never none of that. So I ain't even gonna fake like it's I'm gonna give my baby anything now. Do I go above and beyond for her? Absolutely. Like, could I pull back some? Maybe. Not though. I'm not though. But I do stress to her that a lot of things you will have. You're a very fortunate kid, but do know in the event that you don't do what you need to do, all of these things go away. I remember one time she didn't do something and she kept just not, I don't know what it was. I think keep her room clean. Said if you don't keep your room clean, and she was probably 5, stop tearing this room up and leaving it like this. And she's just now getting it today at 8 to clean her room. I'm like, you're a big girl. Girls have their space clean. Make sure your bathroom is clean. Now when she go in there, she over clean. But she had tore her room up so bad that day, and I was just over it. I'm like, I'm in here. I done cleaned the whole house. And then, boom, you come home and tear the room up that was just clean.
Been there, done that.
And she had this big old dollhouse that this girl had bought her. Big dollhouse. So I put the whole thing in the garbage can. My mom was, you didn't have to do that.
You ain't have to do that.
I probably didn't.
She gonna remember that forever.
She'll tell you right now today. She done brought it up. I don't know. No.
And see that's a part of that's that thing in me, because he will. Now my son is, y'all, I love my baby, but he'll let me know that he don't like something. Paul, clean the room. And I'll be like, boy, boy, clean the room. And I can't.
You want me to go to the store and buy you stuff. You want me to feed you. You want me to do all of these things. But see, I think that with the concept of parenting, you have to deliver it in a way like we're partners. It is a healthy give and take with mommy and child. So you expect me to feed you every day, right? And you have options as far as what you want to eat. You're not eating the same thing every day. I can come to you and say, hey, what do you want to eat today? And you can tell me, and that's what you're going to have. But do understand that this is not by any means what I owe you. All I owe you is to make sure you eat, whatever that is.
And that's how it was growing up for me.
Because that's what it should be, because now you set up a false expectation that wherever I go, whatever I do, these people have to give me what I want. When they don't, you actually, and truth be told, you can have whatever you want. You just can't expect it from them.
And then they don't be paying for nothing.
No, because they're little broke best friends.
Listen.
They will never.
And they be like, Paul, good to tell me, but you're my mom. You got to do it. I be looking like, boy, if grandmama was raising you, you would have went to bed starving. But I can't do that to you because that's neglect.
on Mother's Day this year, JC took me to dinner to hibachi. That's what JC always want to go. Jay got to get hibachi 2-3 times.
We know.
So she actually had to pay for it with her card. She $90. Oh no, we got to go. We got to go, mama. Oh no, let's go. And she treated me like her all the way to the car. That she got in the car that day was like, come on, Jay, get in the car. Get in the car, because apparently you think you could drive, but you can't. But that day, she was all for me. But it was also a learning experience to her. Like I say, so see, you got to pay $90 every time we come here and eat. So every time you want hibachi, I'm paying $90. So now you see. So now she's like, she'll say I was going to ask you, but I know that. So now it's in
a
her
little
head.
empathy, a little compassion. Like,
so
this ain't...
and that's the teachable moment. Like, you are privileged. because kids don't get the choice to
They
eat
don't.
whatever they want every day. However, even if it's grocery at home, you might say you want to go, that's where we going.
That's true.
So I think it's just a healthy balance of explanations, teachable moments, and boundaries when it comes to parenting these kids, because we still have to keep that layer of protection over them in all that we do for them.
Yeah. It's a challenge, and I'm learning. I'm working through it. Yeah, I'm working through that.
Do sometimes as a parent you feel defeated, like I ain't do a good job?
Or I think it's just this is the best way I could put it. Parenting while healing your own childhood trauma. It's like parenting while doing that it's trial and error, because you really have this hurt on the inside.
And you trying to heal it through your kid?
Or not trying to heal it through them, but making sure they don't have to heal from it.
Making sure they don't have to feel that same feeling.
Yeah, or have to heal from it later. So it's like but I learned in that too that I could be creating a monster as well, you know. And half of the things that I went through created resilience and strength within me and some wisdom. That it wasn't all bad. But it took me to become an adult to be in some situations to even experience that. So when it comes to my child life, it's just like patience, time, and experience. Because what I'm learning now through therapy, y'all, is he is a child, and what you said was perfect. Keep their innocence. And in my mind, it's because he talked to me like an 80-year-old man. I'd be feeling like in the moment, I'm like, oh yeah, we here. We see eye to eye. And it's like, no, because in 2 seconds, he about to be back 10. So it's like it's me healing while parenting him. It has been a struggle, but we getting over it. We getting over that hump, and I'm way better than I used to be. However, he still get whatever he want to eat when he asks for it, whatever time that is.
But I'm gonna do the same thing for me. So it's not like I'm just doing it for her because that's what you know. Whatever I want to eat, when I want to eat it, I'm gonna eat it.
Yeah.
That's just.
And when I grew up at one night, my mom would put something on the table. Even if I did not like it, that was all you were going to have that day. You weren't having a snack after that. You wasn't doing none of that. Whatever was on the table, you're going to eat. And I remember even having this little chicken breast that I used to hate, these little chicken breasts. And I was so sneaky that I took the little chicken off the plate. She was like, don't leave that table till you eat. And I done snuck the little chicken behind my back. I don't know why I thought that was going to work. I don't know why I thought that was going to. But I had got all the way to my room. And all I felt.
You thought you had made it.
Ooh, I got the whipping of life that day. Go back to the kitchen and eat it.
That's hilarious.
I was like, God, I don't want this dry chicken, man. But I never wanted my son to feel like he had to hide chicken breast. So what you want, my boy? We're going to get it. We're going to see it through.
That is funny.
So next, y'all, write that question down. What are you healing from? What's some stuff that you just got to get over, okay? And then we're going to reflect on specific memories from your childhood that still hold emotional weight today. And how did it shape your beliefs about yourself and the world around you? I'm going to say that one more time. Reflect on a specific memory from your childhood that still holds emotional weight today and how it shaped your beliefs about yourself and the world around you. Okay, write that down. Then we're going to come back to it. And the next question, y'all, write a letter to your younger self offering words of comfort, love, and wisdom. What would you say to her or him? What guidance do you wish you'd received back then? Let's talk about that. Have you wrote a letter to your younger self yet? You haven't?
I think I've did it in a indirect way.
Okay.
And I wrote it to JC before she was born.
I did that for Paul. I wrote a letter every day to him while I was pregnant.
I did too.
Freaking months.
And then I wrote up till she was 3, and then I stopped.
Oh, wow.
But I said I'm going to start back again, and I told my mama to write letters to her too.
Nice.
Now until she goes to heaven. And she committed to that, so.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got to start writing those letters to our younger selves and I actually have a card that write this question down too, right below that one. What do I need to hear most right now? And a lot of times as children, we didn't get to experience things that we wanted to experience or hear the guidance or feedback or even love that we wanted to experience. So I think writing that letter to your younger self and writing below that, actually on another separate piece of paper, because we're going to rip this one out. Write what you need to hear right now in this moment. What do I need to hear the most? And write it to yourself. Write it to yourself and put it somewhere where you can see it all the time. And I have a few letters because I do that exercise when I need to hear something and people ain't saying it to me. So we're not going to wait for other people to validate us. We're going to validate ourselves. And a lot of times we wait. I need to hear that. I need a word from the Lord. When you got everything inside of you, you know what you want to hear, write it down. You know what your child, the small person inside of you, the 3-year-old, the 8-year-old, the 12-year-old, the 15-year-old needs to hear from you. So we can start changing some things around, changing our perspective and changing the world around us. Okay. So write those questions down. I hope you got, and if you need the questions and you're just tuning into the episode, rewind it back after it's over with, but stick with me. Okay. Stick with me. Okay. So the last one, let's do this. It might not be the last one. I might get something else after this. What's healing your childhood trauma?
My kid.
That's what I was saying. My son is. You know the ways?
My kid and my mom.
Give us a few ways in which
she always reassures me that what I'm doing is good. Mm-hmm. I'm doing a good job because she'll regurgitate, like I said, the things that I tell her. Mm-hmm. Or like in her free time, she'll write. She's a writer, so she writes. And she'll say, I'm thankful for my mom or she'll write me a letter. Mm-hmm. I have eons of letters that she writes and says, thank you, and you're this type of mom or you're that type of mom, and I wouldn't be the girl that I am today. Girl, you 8, but
right.
if it wasn't for you, just so that is reassuring to me, and that lets me know that, okay, I'm doing good on this mommy thing. And how, even as a co-parent with her dad, how she is completely happy when the 3 of us are together, but she is okay when it's just me and her, and she's okay when it's just her and her dad. And she still doesn't, from what I know, feel unfulfilled.
That's dope.
So, yeah.
That's dope. For me, I'm healing my childhood trauma through my relationship with my son. In quite a few ways. And I'll say the one that sticks out the most is we get to sing at the table and harmonize and make up songs. And that's something that I was not allowed to do growing up, was to sing at the table. It was very strict. It was very controlled. But for the right reasons. It was the time for the family to talk. It was time for the family to be themselves. It was time for everybody to check in. My parents are real old school. So we would even have Bible study at the table. So it was so if I sat at the table, I knew this was not playtime. This was whatever. And I make sure with him that if he feel like singing, he can. And I'm not. Now he started screaming and doing some crazy stuff. Paul, relax. But the joy that he has, I can't stop it. And I don't be wanting to stop it. Even if I'm eating my chicken, I'll be wanting him to sing to the top of his lungs, because I wasn't able to. And that's one way that I feel like I'm healing, like I'm doing that with him now. Like I'm singing with him. So it's just not him enjoying himself. We're enjoying ourselves. And it feels like the little girl in me is like, yeah, we finally got that out. And another one is dancing in public.
Me and Jay do that.
Yeah, I don't know what that do for my heart.
It gives you a freedom.
Oh my God.
It gives you a feel of innocence.
Yes, and he don't care who looking. He don't care if he offbeat. He gonna get in that mirror and he gonna.
But that is the thing about kids. If you ever notice, kids will dig their nose digging their butt.
Be like, mommy.
Yeah, like,
They don't care.
or just be walking,
Yep.
just walking with their parents, and they're digging their butt, and they keep going, or digging their nose, and eat the booger while they walking. They have absolutely no cares. We put all the cares, all the fears, all the restrictions on them. They don't have that. We don't have it coming into this world. We don't have that. It's just, that's like, you want to wear like her whole style that you ate. Your whole style switched up from last year. Now you want to wear chokers on your neck and bracelets up to here and big jeans, and it's just like,
Yep. And I let him, he be like, mommy, you're matchy. You have to match everything. You want to do this. And he is really, I'm finna throw on a t-shirt. I'm finna throw on these pants, my Crocs, and I'm good. Let me go and be. He be like, mommy, let me be. And I have to literally, through him, I recognize, okay, because when my mama had us going places, look like you looking. Don't show up looking crazy. Comb your hair. And I'm used to that, and I'm still gonna be that way. Listen, that's just, it's always gonna be me. But my son, I'm learning through him, like, nah, it don't matter, to be honest. And he'd be like, my images and everything. And I just be looking at him like, yeah, you're right. So through him, I am healing my childhood trauma through that relationship. He shows me a whole lot. And when he's enjoying himself as a child, I just allow him to do that, and I join in, because part of my childhood did not get to party when it wasn't warranted, or to jump up out of nowhere and start screaming because you're real happy. Like, he does things that remind me like, oh, it's okay. So I think that should be a question. What's healing your childhood trauma? What are you doing right now to heal that? And I want to give a few ways for people who may not know. Okay, ways to please your inner child. This is a big part of healing your inner childhood trauma, y'all. Ways to please your inner child. Engage in play. Y'all, we got to start playing again. We work a lot and we don't play. Allow yourself to engage in activities that you enjoyed as a child. Like I said, when my son starts singing at the table, instantly my stomach get a little cringy because I think somebody finna tell me to be quiet. It's not true, because this is my house now and can't nobody tell me to be quiet. So we finna sing. And that is one thing that I want him to remember, that we played. My mom, we had fun. And he'll say it. Explore nature. Y'all, get outside. Go outside. Make your kids go outside. Tell them, get off the phone, get off the internet, get off the iPad, get off the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Zoom games, the Zoomies, the everything that we got going on. Let's get outside in nature. Dance and move. Your children is going all day. When they want to do a TikTok with you, mommy, when they want to do a TikTok with you, daddy, do it. I have over 100 videos in this very phone of this boy doing slow-mos. I don't know if y'all kids love the slow-mos, but he love a good slow-mo. So start dancing and moving with your kids, because dancing can be a liberating way to connect with your inner child. I know it for a fact. Coloring. A lot of people, listen, I got stuck in a coloring book one day. It was really exhilarating. Because first my son had the little color thing on the phone where you could just put in the colors, but then I went and bought us some books and we loved it. Okay? So I want y'all to start doing things that are healing your inner child. Let's not just hold on to these bad feelings and we don't know where they come from. 9 times out of 10, the trauma that we're experiencing today comes from when we were little. All the way back. All the way back. Go all the way back. And if you had a great childhood and you don't even remember having any trauma, still go back and really, really dig deep, okay? Anything else you want to say about childhood trauma? And I hope that y'all got something from this, and I hope that we're starting and being proactive about healing it. And if you do not have a journal, they're on Amazon. And in this episode, if you're watching and you watched all the way to the end, this is for you. I'm giving away 2. I'm giving away 2 journals, and I'm going to mail them to you. And this is how you get it. Go to my Instagram page and comment under this post from this episode today. And it'll be there. Comment under the episode. Tell me why you need this journal and why you want to start your journaling practice. Okay? and I'm giving away too, and I'll mail it to you. And once you get them, you got to make me a post. Okay, you gotta tell the nations that you got the journal. So, healing childhood trauma. We're gonna start dancing more. We're gonna start letting our children be children, and we're gonna actually start learning from it. Learning how to be free, learning how to be not full of fear and doubt and all the things, worried about what other people are gonna say. So, Nadia, any last words for the people about healing their childhood trauma? Going deep.
Be honest with themselves. Be transparent with yourself. Give yourselves grace to be who and what you are. And then if that who and what you are isn't comfortable to you first, then work on it. Because sometimes other people have problems with who and what you are because they aren't who and what they are. So yeah, give yourself grace, give other people grace, and always be in gratitude for how far you've come.
And can I say this too? It's not going to be easy for everybody, because this has just hit me. It's not going to be easy for everybody to be on board with you healing from trauma, especially because you call it trauma, because other people in this situation may not view it the same way that you did, right? That does not mean that it wasn't traumatic to you because someone else says, ain't nobody do that to you. It wasn't even like that. Heal and don't expect a certain response from other people. And when you're healing from any type of traumatic thing that happened to you, through you, other people are going to be feeling a certain type of way about you voicing your story and your opinion and your view. And that's all it is your perspective, your view, my perspective, my view. And you cannot get caught up on who's going to be hurt by you telling your story. Always be respectful, always show empathy and compassion to the other parties, and say, I'm moving in love and I'm trying to get over this and I'm healing from it. And that's the positive. We're not dwelling to point fingers. We're healing to get over it and let it go. Okay? So be strong in this journey, y'all. Be strong, and I see you. And if you need some help, y'all already know. Certified life coach sitting right here, willing and able to help you navigate to the best version of yourself. Okay? So before we go, there's one thing I need you to know. There's always room for who? You. Right here on the couch. Girl. Oh my God.